Welcome back to the channel. My name is Lee for Lee's Kitchen. Today we're going to make the viral high protein sweet potato burrito bowls, and we're going to see, is it really that good? So I've always wondered why there was no cottage cheese in the supermarkets. Now, I've tried the 2-ingredient cottage cheese wrap, and yeah, it was pretty average. I would not make it again. But there had to be another reason why the cottage cheese is flying off the shelf until I saw another comment saying this sweet potato burrito bowl is the reason. And so I had the majority of the ingredients, so I decided to try it out. So I'll post a link to the recipe that I'm using below, but she said it's very loose and you can interchange it as much as you want. So what I have here is I have a Hawaiian sweet potato. So the Hawaiian sweet potatoes actually have a little bit less sugar than your traditional sweet potatoes. So they're actually lower on the glycemic index, which is really good. Then I need a avocado. We only have the shepherd avocados at the moment, which are not the greatest, not my favorite. Now, we're gonna need cottage cheese, but I don't actually have any cottage cheese. I have some ricotta here that was in the fridge, so I'm gonna use that today. I'm sure it will turn out just as good. And she says if you don't like cottage cheese, you can always use some Greek yogurt or something like that. We've got a little bit of ranch to flavor that ricotta. She uses ranch powder, but I don't have ranch powder. Got some coriander. She uses black beans, but I've got some red kidney beans here. Again, interchangeable. We've got some tomato paste here. This is homemade tomato paste that was in my freezer. And then we've just got some spices here. So I've got some oregano. I've got some chili powder, got some cumin, and I've got some smoked paprika here. And then we've got our sweet potato. Now we've got half a kilo of beef mince. It does look a bit brown at the moment, and that's because the butcher I get it from does not use any preservatives in it, so it has to be frozen straight away. And then we've just got some coriander, and I'm also gonna put some chipotle and adobo in this as well, just to spice it up a little bit. Then we've got some lime juice and some hot honey to finish it off. So it sounds pretty good, but it's gonna be in the tasting to see how good it actually is. So firstly, we're gonna cook off our sweet potatoes. I'm using a Hawaiian sweet potato, which is actually purple inside, and it's got a little bit less sugar in them, so they actually crisp up beautifully and don't actually burn as easy. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peel it, and then we're gonna cube it, and then we're gonna add some spices, salt and pepper, and we're gonna get into the air fryer to make it nice and easy. Just look how beautifully purple that is. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to cube this into probably 1/2-inch cubes. All right, so there we go. That's all cut up now. So I've done about 1/2-inch cubes. That way, you're just going to get a nice mouthful each time. You have to cut it up or anything like that. I'm going to put this into a bowl. To this bowl, I'm going to add some olive oil. Give it a good glug. Some pepper. It's not meant to be in there. Some salt. And then in the recipe they use some smoked paprika, so I'm just going to do some of that. And now I'm just going to give that a really good stir. All right. So I have my air fryer tray here. I'm We're going to get this in here in a single layer. Well, the best we can. And we're going to cook this in our air fryer for 200 degrees for about 15 minutes. Now these are Hawaiian sweet potatoes, so I think they're probably going to take a little bit longer, but I'll check them after 15 minutes. All right, so for the next step, we're going to make our cheese portion. So I have some ricotta here. It was already on hand, so I figured I might as well use this. I honestly don't know why people are going for cottage cheese. It's lumpy. It is like creamy, but yeah, lumpy. I sometimes think, you know, all these companies are probably influenced it so that they'll start selling it, because I don't think anyone really brought it. I'm going to add some ranch sauce to this, just a little bit. And I'm going to add just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of lime juice. And I'm also going to add just a little bit of coriander or cilantro. And if you don't want to use ricotta or cottage cheese, just using Greek yogurt. That's high in protein as well. All right, so I'm gonna put this aside and we're gonna go on to the next step. So for our next one, we're gonna make our avocado mousse. Now, I'm not the hugest fan of shepherd avocados, so I'm hoping I've picked an okay one. All right, it looks pretty good. It was a bit squishy, so I was wondering if it was gonna be, you know, a disaster. And it was actually the only thing I had to buy yesterday. And then to this, we're gonna add some lime juice to give some acid, and it's also gonna stop it from browning so easy. Some pepper. Some salt. And then we're gonna give this a good mash. And if you couldn't be bothered, just do it in the food processor. Nice and easy, but I couldn't be bothered messing up another appliance. All right, so that's the best I'm gonna get it. Honestly, I don't mind a bit of texture in my avocado. We're gonna add some coriander or cilantro. All right, and we're gonna set that aside. So now we're going to start making the actual beef mixture. Now, I forgot an ingredient, and that is garlic cloves. So firstly, I'm going to cut up 3 cloves of garlic, and then I'll see you at the stove. All right, so I've got a large frying pan heating over a medium-high heat. Love my Australian-made Solid Techniques frying pans, fantastic. And what I'm going to do is add some oil. And we're going to toast off all of our spices first. So I've got our garlic here. We want a good tablespoon of cumin. I'm just going to pour these in. Tablespoon of smoked paprika. A teaspoon of oregano. And then some chili powder. I'm gonna go maybe half a teaspoon. I don't like the stuff too spicy, but I'm also gonna add some chipotles and adobo as well. And then I'm just gonna add some chipotle and adobo as well. Maybe about quarter of a cup. This is already chopped. Maybe about that much. a bit spicy. And the oil from that's going to activate all those spices and bring it back to life. And it's just going to make it hopefully taste so much better. So I understand why they've done that first. All right, I'm going to add a little bit more oil. And then I'm going to toast off our beef. So this is just normal ground beef. They don't use any preservatives or anything in it. So that's why it's looking a bit pale and everything, but it is perfectly fine. And I love putting it flat in the freezer. It defrosts in absolutely no time. I'm going to turn the heat up on this now, and I'm just going to get this into one single layer. And I'm actually going to give this a couple of minutes, just let it sit there, and just let that crust just generate on it. All right, now I'll let that sit there for about a minute to really try and get some color into it. Gonna give it a really good stir. And just break up this meat as much as we can. So once that beef is cooked off, we've got some tomato paste here. So this is some homemade tomato paste I made with my tomato skins last year. And I just keep it in the freezer. I don't actually use much tomato paste. And it's only 2 tablespoons, but I'm not sure what the how strong my stuff is. So I'll put 2 of these in. I'm sure it's not going to make a huge difference. And then I'm just going to let that cook off. Now there is a bit of grease down the bottom, and if you really want to, you can pour that off. I'm going to choose not to. It looks like that tomato has helped soak it all in. And then lastly, I'm going to add my rinsed kidney beans. So I'm using kidney beans. This recipe was originally with black beans. Again, the recipe did say that it was fully interchangeable. To this, I'm just going to add some salt and pepper. Alright, so that is done now. So it also said to add some spinach leaves to it. I don't have any spinach at the moment, so I'm just going to leave that out. I'm sure we're not going to miss out on the flavour of that. Alright, the sweet potato is done now, so now we're ready to assemble our bowl. Alright, so let's assemble this. So we have our purple sweet potatoes here. I did have to put these in for about an extra 5 minutes. And I've done enough sweet potatoes for about 2 serves. So after that we have some of our beef and beans. So we add some green now, so I'm going to add some of our avocado. And then basically it's going to be a cottage cheese cream. And then they say to finish it with some hot honey. So this is an Australian hot honey. And then we're going to finish with some coriander. Doesn't it look pretty good? All right, so let's give this a go. It's my first time wearing orange on a wall, and I kind of feel like Uncle Roger at the moment. I'm not gonna be a savage though. All right, let's give this a go. All right, so firstly, you get that little bit of sweetness and heat from that honey, and then you got the crispy sweet potatoes down the bottom there. You got that bit of crema from the cottage cheese or ricotta, and then you got the avocado just to freshen up and everything. Overall, I think it's really good. And it's one of those quick recipes that you can really actually knock up in next to no time. So this only took me about 20 minutes tonight, even though I was recording it. So definitely give this one a go. And if you can't get cottage cheese, I do have a recipe on how to actually make it. So I'll post that one above just for your information. And also you can interchange it. So to not use ricotta cheese, you can also just use some Greek yogurt as well, or even sour cream. So this is definitely one of those things that I'd say, give it a go and see if you like it. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.